Welcome to the myprojectbazaar.com. This is our project title, Improved Privacy Preserving P2P Multimedia Distribution Based on Recombined Fingerprints. This is the abstract of our project. Fingerprinting emerged as a technological solution to avoid illegal content redistribution. Anonymized fingerprint is a solution for legal distribution of multimedia content with copyright protection. The identities of buyer is revealed only in case of illegal redistribution. Some of the problems in the existing fingerprint protocols are the use of complex time-consuming protocols, under homomorphic encryption of the content, and a unicast approach for distribution that does not scale for a large number of buyers. Here we use a recombined fingerprint technology. Using the recombined fingerprint technology, we are going to transmit the multimedia data from the merchant to the buyer, after that the buyer to the child buyer. Our proposed system is an efficient, scalable, privacy-preserving and peer-to-peer based fingerprinting system. This is a data flow diagram of our process. Initially, the merchant registration takes place. The merchant should register their ID, then their IP and their video, that is a multimedia information. Afterwards, merchant uploading the multimedia information into our process. Then buyer registration takes place. In the buyer registration, he also provides the buyer ID, buyer IP, etc. After that, the multimedia data receiving process takes place. In this, first of all, we transmit the multimedia data from the merchant to the buyer. During this transmission, we convert the video into the images for the secure transmission process. After this conversion process, the fingerprint generation takes place. The fingerprints is generated for each and every copy of the images which is converted from the multimedia. Afterward, the key generation process takes place. This key generation process is specially for the encryption process. After this key generation process, the encryption process takes place. After this encryption, the key is received on the buyer side. In the buyer side, they perform the decryption process. Again, they convert that decrypted images into the video conversion process. Finally, this whole process gets end. Afterwards, this process is repeated for the child buyer from buyer. After the child buyer registration process, there is a transaction monitor. It plays an important role here. The transaction monitor shows the information that is the transaction information of the merchant to the buyer and the merchant to the child buyer. After this transaction, the tracing protocol process takes place. In the tracing process, it checks whether the transaction copy is a legal transaction or a illegal transaction. If it is a legal transaction, means the previous process repeated as from the merchant to the buyer, like the conversion process, fingerprint generation process, key generation process. Otherwise, if it is a illegal transaction, means the process gets stopped. The multimedia information doesn't travel from the buyer to the child buyer. Let us see the demo of our process. In the NetBeans, we first open the fingerprint. It is our project. In this process, we should first open the merchant.java. Right click merchant.java. Then run file. This is a front page of our process. Then enter into the peer-to-peer network. Afterwards, first new merchant registration. Click here. So, merchant 3 IP 63.6 multimedia file. Register. Likewise, new buyer registration. 4. Registered successfully. Then, if any transaction for merchant 1 means show only already one transaction takes place. Then buyer merchant 3, buyer 4, fingerprint generation, then store. Enter the port number in this merchant server.java. Then enter the port number, trigger, request, send, receive. The conversion process takes place. File, select the destination location. Conversion process takes place. Then video frames. These are all the frames of our process. Then information about the frames. Then next. Then select the encrypted location. Then encrypted key, then encrypted process takes place. Next, generated successfully, show the fingerprints. Next, compress operation takes place. After that, we should run c.java. Then receive the key, send the file, we receive the file, then next. Then choose the file path for decompress operation. Then next. Then decryption operation. For the decryption process, we select the folder. Decrypt. These are all the decrypted images. Then the decrypted images again gets converted into video. Just before purchase this video from the merchant M3. Then OK. Then we will repeat the same process for ship. Then select the buyer to child. Just select the buyer 4. Then 4. Select the video. Generate the fingerprint. Store. The transaction monitor shows the transaction from merchant to the buyer, buyer to the child buyer. Then identify from which merchant this information get transmitted. Then the tracing operation takes place. So it is not a illegal transaction. We can able to proceed our process. Likewise, the process repeated. As usual, vice versa, the process gets repeated as the previous one. Thank you.